welcome again to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm grateful consistently to have you here for your support and everything that you've done for this brand, for the channel, for me, Fiifi-Manfred. I'm grateful to consistently have you here. There's a lot to talk about. This weekend, there's a lot of football tactical analysis in English Premier League, and I'm going to run you by a lot of them. We'll start by analyzing the game Liverpool against Manchester City and how you definitely are going to see that game. Then Chelsea versus Newcastle. Then every other analysis that's going to go on in the English Premier League this weekend. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are new to the channel, guys, do what subscribe to the channel. If you are new, do what subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification now. Subscribe to the channel. Do choose all, and then you are first to get the content immediately I do post it. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. I'm grateful to have you here. Liverpool this season are literally Liverpool 2.0 or Liverpool reloaded or Liverpool reincarnated. You remember last season, Jurgen Klopp's team struggled to get a job done in the English Premier League. It was one of the worst Jurgen Klopp seasons since he took over in the last 8 years that he has been there. Yes, this season there have been some issues, but he seems to be getting the job done. And Klopp himself has alluded to the fact that this looks like a reloaded Liverpool. The tactical nuances are there, the tactical analysis, the tweaks in the in-game, in the tactical presentation of the game has been there as well. And that's exactly why we are here. What are Liverpool doing different? What have they done different since the beginning of the season to get them where they are? Why are they this brilliant tactically? And in this game, they are going to play against Manchester City. How is the game going to go? Like, my name is Fiifi-Manfred. Once again, if you've not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel and do turn on the notification and then do choose all. I will be back with you with all the juice. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So, you remember that Jurgen Klopp in the last few years that he has been at Liverpool has been splendid. Essentially, he has been very good in terms of how he wanted to play. Of course, Jurgen is known for his Jurgen person, where his teams press very aggressively, very high and wide, and then they are relentless pressers in almost every game that they play in. Last season, again, Liverpool struggled. Liverpool struggled to play against almost every team. They conceded a lot of the goals. They were not solid. They were not defensively as compact as they are this term. And coming into this season, especially after they lost Firmino, after they lost Jordan Henderson, after they lost Fabinho, people really thought that, yeah, maybe they are really going to struggle. They replaced them with Endo Ouattara. They bought Domenico Szoboszlai. They got in Ryan Gravenberch. Cody Gakpo had joined last season. There is Darwin Nunez. There was a returning Luis Diaz from injury and whatnot. But then really people began to wonder, where can Liverpool get to this season? Are they going to suffer like they did last season? Or they are going to get it right this time? And oh boy, they seem to be exactly where they want to be. And you see, for Mancity, they are title challengers. It's automatic. They are title challengers. It's not even up for discussion. But for Liverpool, this is going to be a possible game that's going to be a testament of the possibility they are going to be title challengers this season. Because you go toe-to-toe with Man City, then people really believe that, oh, yeah, Liverpool actually will have that consistency to play against the big boys. They have played against Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur. They've played against Chelsea already. They've gotten maximum points from that Tottenham Hotspur game. Now they've done the job against the game, in a game against Chelsea, also in a draw in there. Now, it is how they got a job done against Tottenham Hotspur. And in the 4 games that they've had red cards in there, so you've had it against Wolves, you had it against Newcastle. These are tough games where they got a job done, especially against Newcastle. I'll tell you about the defensive shape, which was brilliant. Brilliant. We'll get onto the tactical board. It was brilliant in using the 4-3-1 shape to deal with Newcastle, and how exactly they got a job done. At some point in time where they went into a 4-2-3 when they were playing against Newcastle, where the job of Domenico Szoboszlai was to close down the channels in the wide areas and also come inside to get a job done. So it has been top notch with everything that they've been doing this season. given how they've come. They've gotten the results done. In fact, in seasons that were past, one of the things that you know Liverpool for was crosses. So a lot of the times, Robertson and then Trent Alexander-Arnold will do a lot of overlapping runs from out wide, and then they'll send in crosses. In fact, since 2018, when Jurgen Klopp had joined, Liverpool had the highest number of crosses in the league. Now, this season, the crosses have reduced. Now, that those seasons where we're getting the good crosses, Robertson and then Trent will do the overlapping runs. They will send in the crosses. Money sometimes will send in the crosses. There were times where even Jordan Henderson would do the crossing job for them, and they were creating a lot of chances from crosses. Henderson, of course, will not go to the byline. It's in the right-hand side central areas, slightly in between the far side and then in between the central areas. He sent in those very good crosses in there for Liverpool, and they will do getting the job done. Right. Now, this season, they seem, after matches week 8, they were the team with the 4th least number of crosses played. They had also the team that had created, considered less chances this season. So, but then, whilst they had the least number of chances created from crosses, they also the team that were creating some good chances. So it means that in days in the past where they were using wide areas to create, this time that they are not using wide areas to create, they are still creating the chances. So how are they doing that creation? It is in all of these things that Liverpool have metamorphosed into that will do the analysis, fix into the Manchester City game on the tactical board, then give you a prediction here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But first of all, let's start with what has really changed with Liverpool in terms of defense and midfield. Virgil van Dijk. So post that injury that Virgil van Dijk had, especially this season, I think he has been brilliant. Before that season, he was arguably the best centre-back in the world in the English Premier League. But this season, Virgil seems to be getting back to exactly where we know him to be. The leadership at the back, the fact that he's a commander that leads the charge over the aerial duels, the winning of ground battles. Virgil used to have something with him where he sort of makes center forwards or attackers feel like they are in control or they are getting into dangerous areas. And that is when he comes in with a tackle. When you start to play, when you attack him, when you come, he literally just backs you off. And people used to complain that why does Virgil backs off a lot of the times when players are carrying the ball against him and whatnot. But that's what he does. He backs off, literally makes you feel like you're in control, then comes in with a very good tackle, win the ball off you. And he is at that level now. And I think that's giving Liverpool a lot of stability. Even when he has not had the best defensive partner. Sometimes Ibu Konate is injured. Sometimes Jarrell Konsa comes in. These are largely inexperienced, especially for Jarrell, who is not the most experienced player playing against someone like Virgil van Dijk. But then, to be very honest with you, these guys have been good. When Matip comes in, he has been good. It is because Virgil is finding that form again. And I think he's number one for everything that Liverpool have done this season and where they've gotten to in terms of the growth and how much they've done on and off the ball from the defensive point of view. Now, last season or seasons before, one of the things Liverpool consistently do or did well, and I think it's a testament of Jurgen Klopp's teams, is a very good progression and very good counter-attacking play. There is somebody, when they lost Fabinho, they went in for Endo as a replacement for him in the DM role. But he's not even a conventional DM like a Rodri, like a Fabinho. But it is the job that they've done in terms of someone like the Hungarian captain, Domenico Szoboszlai, that for me sets them apart, that takes them to a notch higher. Now, Domenico does a few things that are brilliant. In Liverpool's midfield now, Alexis McAllister essentially plays as the lone DM. He's not a lone DM. Usually you have to play in a double pivot in his days at Brighton, even at Argentina, where he plays in a double pivot in there. But this time he plays as a lone DM in terms of progression and then playing forward. He receives the ball and then he plays for it. But it is the job that he does. It is the job that their two attacking number 8s does for the Liverpool team. Whether it is Curtis Jones and then Domenico Szoboszlai. Curtis has also been brilliant on and on the ball as a box-to-box midfielder for the Liverpool team. But the focus, however, is on Domenico Szoboszlai and his ball carrying ability and his ball retention. Sometimes when a player is able to carry the ball, it's because of his dribbling ability. But he is an agile ball carrier, and it's difficult for you to rob him of the ball. But even apart from the ball carrying ability of Domenico Szoboszlai, it is the excellent runs on and off the ball that he gives to the team. Especially when Salah is on the ball, he makes central darting runs. When they are in counter attacking, he's able to carry the ball forward to wait for the runs of Salah, which usually is centrally. Again, most of the time as well, when Liverpool are playing in this blistering way of playing without the ball, he is the key cog in dropping in because of the high levels of energy that he has in leading the press centrally and then making sure the mix central area is very compact, wins the ball in there. Sometimes even when he has to cover for a fullback, he does that job brilliantly. And Domenico has been brilliant, especially in that attacking combination with Mohamed Salah. So that's just to Virgil van Dijk, the defensive solidity, and Domenico Szoboszlai is number one. And one of the things I've also seen with Liverpool this season is the fact that there is consistent central attacking patterns. So I told you before that they used to play a lot of crosses in the past. But this time, Liverpool play sometimes in a 4-4-2, right, in attacking third, but a split forward where they have either Darwin Nunez, who's running centrally in between the lines, and Mohamed Salah staying centrally. Salah before used to stay a lot more wider. This time, he's staying more central. And because of a lot of things, now because of this, the role of Trent Alexander-Arnold as an inverted fullback has become even more apparent in the team because he comes inverted and then he has Darwin Nunez and Mohamed Salah playing as two split center forwards in central areas. Now, when Cody Gakpo is in there, when some other attackers are in there like Diogo Jota, they will rather keep that width, right? So they can play through them. Now, you have sometimes also Domenico Szoboszlai, who is a wonderful manipulator of the ball in terms of the attacking third and breaking down low blocks in there in those areas, whilst Alexis McAllister will push up for them. So it is the central attacking roles that they have at Liverpool. It is Mohamed Salah and the brilliance that he has, Virgil van Dijk, Domenico Szoboszlai, and they have been brilliant in this regard. And I think that's where Liverpool have sort of turned the corner as it stands now under Jurgen Klopp. And it's a tactical tweak, it's intentional for them. So Szoboszlai's ball carrying ability, the counter-attacking job, the ball, his ball winning ability sometimes, and the job he does compared to what Steven Henderson used to do, and of course the energies in pressing. That he goes out wide to close down markers and whatnot. And I think Szoboszlai has been brilliant in that job. Now, let's go into the tactical board proper. Let's analyze the game. What is going to be the difference? How are City going to win this? How are Liverpool possibly going to win this? Let's put everything together on the tactical board, and then let's pick a winner on the tactical board. Great. So we are on the tactical board. We know that for a while now, Liverpool play this season in a 4-3-3. So Liverpool in red here, usually at the back you have Virgil van Dijk, Jarrell Kwanzaa, Ibu Konate, fullbacks Robo, who may not be playing, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, Domenico Szoboszlai. Up top, the front three usually do change. Darwin Nunez in games like this definitely is going to start, so he can go through central areas. Mohamed Salah, of course, in there. Luis Diaz in big games also. He's a customer that's usually in. Now for the case of Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, usually it starts nominally in a 4-back like a 4-3-3, but we've seen that recently Pep Guardiola's teams tend to change from a 4-3-3 into some shape like a 3-back, right? So the 3 center backs are in here, then an extra one will come inverted like that, especially if John Stones is fully fit and plays some very, very good football in there, so that Pep can have a lot of central congestion, a lot of players in the central areas to win the numerical superiority in the central areas. Of course, there is a qualitative superiority also that's yet to win. You have in the game against Chelsea, you had very good inside number 10s. He played Phil Foden, had Alvarez, had Bernardo Silva, started with Jeremy Doku. I think that in the game against Liverpool, he will opt for Jack Grealish for ball retention. Jack holds on to the ball for a long time. He holds on to the ball for a lot of the time, and he's going to be a good ball retainer for Pep Guardiola and his team. So I'm thinking that he's going to go for Jack Grealish for ball retention in a game like this. Right, so yeah, let's get straight into it. So I want us to look at first at build-up from Liverpool perspective and how the game is going to shape up. Pep against Chelsea built up in a very smart way, and a lot of the time it's with the same principles. Rodri, whilst John Stones was injured, he consistently had a centre back coming in here. It was Nathaniel Nathan Akanji in the middle of the park anytime that Pep wanted to play out from the back in a game against Chelsea. So we are looking at the same principle in this game. Now, one of the things you should know that when Liverpool are playing against big teams like this, what they do is that their front three will lead a press. The only thing is that when Manchester City have opened up in a three at the back like this, Liverpool's front three will press them narrowly. Now, they need something. The concept of pressing narrowly is to show them inside and then force them to play into these zones, into these spaces in these zones outside like this. So that when they do, now they can either use their fullbacks or their attacking number 8s to back the press up in this area, and then they will go together into this area. It's a good trigger for them. They can win the balls in such zones, right? Now, I'll tell you what Chelsea did in the game against Pep Guardiola in Manchester City, how it worked for them with the rotations of Enzo Fernandez in that game, and how Liverpool can apply that principle in pressing Manchester City in a game like this. So when Man City are with the ball, like we've consistently said, it is the job of the 3 centre backs here and then the 2 midfielders. Essentially, usually if it's John Stones, he has come inverted to make it a 2 in here. And then they have the inside number 10s, Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez would come in between the lines. Sometimes Bernardo Silva. Bernardo did a lot of the first phase job also with Rodri in the game against Chelsea at some point in time, which was a very good one. Sometimes also he was in the wide areas like that with Jeremy Doku on the right-hand side to try and overload Reece James in those areas. So he will do that job a lot. Phil Foden also in these zones when they're able to get past the first phase of ball progression. But then the idea of the first phase is to overload central areas, win the numerical superiority here, and then they can take the ball outside and manipulate the space. Now, when they're playing in games like this, they know that Liverpool can either press like how they usually press, or they're going to come in man for man. I'll tell you what happened if they go man for man, and that happened in the game against Chelsea. Now let's look at Liverpool's press in the next step. Now, when the front three do press like this, they press inwards, they press narrow. Now there's a lot of space in here. First thing, Man City are a very, very brave team. So there's a possibility that they'll still find the possibility of still playing into central areas. They are still going to play to Rodri. They are still going to play to Bernardo Silva in these central areas, or whoever invests to partner him in this area. Now, it is very important to note that Liverpool are very aggressive also in their 4-1 shape without the ball. They are sitting in the mid block, but when they are pressing very high, it's a 4-3-3 sometimes in this shape. What you should note is that once they show them outside, once they force them to play inside, the areas space are going to be here. These are baits for Liverpool to try and counter press Liverpool, Man City in those areas when the ball go there. But centrally, immediately the ball comes here, they know City are confident. They know they are very aggressive. They know they are arrogant, and they'll still play too centrally. Now, what they will do with the movement of Rodri and Bernardo Silva is to back up the press. And I told you earlier on about the energy levels of Domenico Szoboszlai. He's going to be very important in backing up these press in these zones with Curtis Jones. I believe Curtis is also a brilliant player in that job that he does in here. Smart player from the academy, brilliant guy, whilst Alexis McAllister sits in these zones, right? So they will sort of cut it off. If you watch the game against Chelsea, one of the things Chelsea did very well in pressing, they rotated a lot. They rotated and they followed Rodri everywhere that he went to. He went outside. They were comfortable in letting Rodri receive the ball from wide areas. When Chelsea were also building up, Enzo rotates from central and come outside to force Rodri out. So anytime Man City were able to win the ball from out wide, they lost the central numerical battle that they wanted to win consistently in that game. And then Chelsea were confident because they were pulling Rodri out of position, and it was a brilliant thing that helped Chelsea. So Liverpool are essentially going to press like this. Once the ball comes central like this, they would want to back it up with attacking number 8. If it comes into wide areas, the attacking number 8 is going to come in here and come aggressive on the winger in this area. Once they do, every other person will be pushing into this area to constrict the pitch in this area to win the ball. Now, I've seen Liverpool go man for man. They have gone man for man before. I've seen it several times this season, and I know that Liverpool can go man for man. When they do go man for man, I've told you, anybody that's tried to go man for man against Josep Guardiola's team, what he does is to use a long ball with the ball playing ability of Ederson. Now he finds he fights Erling Braut Haaland here. Now, in this case, it means that every time Erling Braut Haaland, once he receives the ball, either of Virgil van Dijk, I think that he's going to be the last man. He will not be the one to close down Erling Braut Haaland in these zones. Jarrell Konsa, if he plays Ebu Konate, the ball comes in here, will be forced to come here to deal with him. If you need to win such balls, you don't win them, he turns around, and there will be constant willing runners into this space to attack Liverpool. It is very, very, very important in that regard. Now, if Liverpool are able to have the ball, when Liverpool are on the ball, I told you about the central attacking phase of Liverpool's game where consistently Darwin Nunez is always getting onto his back and running in behind here. Mohamed Salah also stays centrally and then tries to also get in behind from central areas. Now, it is very, very important because Domenico Szoboszlai is in this area with Curtis Jones to try and manipulate play. Very, very important piece of play to break down Manchester City when they go into their shove. Without the ball, you will see that Liverpool go back into some shape of a 4-1-4-1 shape without the ball, where they will leave someone like Darwin Nunez up top to do the job for them in this area to start the press. It is very, very, very important, and it works so much for Liverpool. Man City, the principles are the same, have a lot of inside number 10s, If they want to push the ball from out wide, especially on the right-hand side, then you're constantly going to get Jack Grealish in there for ball retention in such zones with Bernardo Silva. Once he's in there with ball retention in that zone, he is going to consistently be overlapped and underlapped by Bernardo Silva because they need to get a lot of the job. They need to get a lot of men, lots of movements is what can bring down this Liverpool side on the right hand side where Trent Alexander-Arnold this. They are going to overload him. His defending of wide areas is going to be a big deal. So it means that Liverpool would have to drop one DM or one attacking number 8 to come and help. Domenico has been brilliant in that job. I told you earlier, and I think that this is a job that he can do perfectly well also. Now, another part of Liverpool's build-up is when this season they've done comfortably well when they push into a 4-3-3 like this and they are on the ball. And then I told you how Salah is going to attack central areas, and then either of Cody Gakpo when he's on, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz when they are on, are going to keep the weight for Liverpool. But then because of this, what they do very, very well that is Liverpool, is the fact that now Trent will comfortably come inside. Trent now these days comfortably comes inside to be a playmaker from deep areas, right? Once Trent comes in, it is the inside runs, it is the central runs from Darwin Nunez and Mohamed Salah as two splits number 9s, two splits central attackers, anyhow you want to call it, when they run in behind in these zones so that Trent can play these balls into them. Before Liverpool consistently go out wide and do the cross, Trent to overlap, Robo overlap. When Jordan Henderson was there, he would go to the right hand side, he would send in the cross. This time it is a lot of focus on central breakdown and central progression and central attacking pathings in here, and that's exactly what they are going to do with Darwin Nunez and Mohamed Salah. Now, usually the few times that Mohamed Salah would dart into wide areas, you see that Domenico Szoboszlai will take into these zones, will be in those zones also to try and be the one to occupy central areas and run in there. But in threats, anytime once he gets here, becomes a signal, a signal for the fact that they want to go centrally and they want to break Man City from that. Now, I think that to deal with Manchester City, Liverpool have to do a lot of rotations, especially for Szoboszlai or Curtis Jones in there. I love Curtis Jones. I think it's very, very important for Liverpool. He doesn't get too much of his flowers, but he's an excellent player. As an attacking number 8, same as Domenico Szoboszlai, they will do a lot of work in terms of rotations when they are building up. When they are building up, they can beat Manchester City into thinking that they want to play to Alexis McAllister, who is not conventional number 6, and City would want to go aggressive on him. Now, it is when they pull him in here, when they're able to play someone like a Cody Gakpo or an extra number 10 also to drop and also pull players onto him, then the job of Curtis Jones to arrive late to receive the ball, play wall passes, and then they go wide or they wait for trains to come inverted in central areas, receive the ball, and then play through. That is going to be the most important. I think this is also going to be a game that can be decided on the creative ability of Mohamed Salah, and I think that he's going to be very, very important for Liverpool in this game. So yeah, guys, this is where the tactical analysis of the game will end us. But then really, it's a mammoth game. It's a big game. Liverpool versus Manchester City. And I think that is the best way to get a tactical analysis. If you've not subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification. My name is Fiifi-Manfred.